Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
We have the chance of thunderstorms this afternoon, but tomorrow it's a WRAL weather alert day. I'll show you when to expect storms and how strong they'll be where you are.
And encouraging stats in a segment of downtown Raleigh known for crime. We're live with a preview of what a new report reveals about the safety of Moore Square. Plus this.
That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you attack the physical appearance of another person?
Feelings hurt.
Also, a contentious committee meeting on Capitol Hill. What set this sparring match in motion?
A potent system approaches this afternoon, starting a weekend of unsettled weather. Saturday is a WRAL weather alert day. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Chris Lovingood.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Jeff and Renee have the day off. Thanks for joining us. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with a look at our chances, Elizabeth, for storms today, Saturday, and Sunday.
It sounds like it's going to be a very wet weekend, but really talking about scattered afternoon and evening thunderstorms. We're going to have, plenty of hours during the weekend that are dry. You just need to watch, and I'll show you when to expect the dry conditions. We take a look at dual Doppler 5000 radar. There's a little bit of rain that's just to our west. It's starting to push toward our viewing area, but it's not here yet. We'll give it another few hours. We widen out the view and take a look at the big picture. And what catches your eye is this line of thunderstorms that's near the Gulf of Mexico. It's in conjunction with this warm front, and that warm front, as it lifts northward and moves into our area, is where we'll likely see the best chance of severe storms. We're going to walk through that coming up with Futurecast. We'll take a look at what we're seeing this afternoon. Expect to see those rain showers that are back to our west rolling through here in the next couple of hours. You can see at 3 o'clock some scattered showers and thunderstorms, but again, plenty of dry space in between some of these. So it's not going to be a total washout as we get through this afternoon. Now, there may be a round of thunderstorms and showers early on Saturday morning. Most of that is out by around 9. And then we'll watch the placement of this stationary front. That's the warm front that moves on in. And if it is north of you, you're going to have a better chance of seeing some of the severe storms, and that's what we're looking at in our southern counties. We'll take a closer look at that, and we'll also touch on Sunday as well. But we do have that level 1 and 2 risk for severe storms for tomorrow. Afternoon and evening, damaging winds are possible, and isolated tornadoes would be more likely there in our southern counties. Taking a look at our rain chances for the rest of the day today, that gradually goes up 30% afternoon, 50% during the evening, and then again, a chance of a few thunderstorms early Saturday morning.
All right, thanks, Elizabeth. Raleigh's fight against last summer's spike in crime downtown appears to be paying off. In the next 2 hours, the Raleigh Police Department will share the new numbers revealing a drop in crime. And WRAL's Matt Tallhelm is live in Moore Square. Matt, what can we expect this data to show?
Michelle, I'm told that this data will show a pretty significant drop in crime downtown, especially here around Moore Square and the downtown transit center right across the street there. This is also where Raleigh police will reveal those crime stats to us this afternoon. It is where RPD, the city, and Downtown Raleigh Alliance have focused a lot of resources over the last year. The city hired private armed security guards for the transit center. DRA hired unarmed guards to patrol the streets, and RPD added officers to patrol the entire downtown business district here. Downtown did see a surge in violent crime last summer, including 2 homicides near the transit center and a 15-year-old who was shot and killed just a few blocks here from Moore Square.
We just had a lot of challenges last summer that, you're not seeing nearly the same scale of, right? So we had significant large groups of people causing just disruptions, misbehavior, certain types of crime, and we're seeing a lot less of that.
The latest update we got from Raleigh police was back in January, and it showed a big increase in enforcement from those added patrols in the last 3 months of last year. Officers charged more people for weapons and drugs. They confiscated 10 illegal guns from people downtown during that time. Now, police plan to give us an update with those new statistics here in Moore Square at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Of course, we will bring them to you first on WRAL.com. And then coming up starting at 4 o'clock, we'll tell you what the city and police are doing to keep up this momentum to make sure we don't see that summer spike happen again this summer.
We will look for that. Matt Tallhelm live in downtown Raleigh. Thanks, Matt.
State investigators say drugs are being sold in clubs on Glenwood South in Raleigh, and they say a Raleigh firefighter and his wife are the ones running an elaborate drug trafficking operation there. Nicholas and Amanda Bannister are facing dozens of charges. Agents from NC Alcohol Law Enforcement have not said in which clubs the drugs are sold. Bar managers who spoke with WRAL off camera said they are not surprised there is drug activity on Glenwood. A judge warned the Bannisters they could face a sentence of hundreds of years in prison. Nicholas Bannister is now on administrative leave from the Raleigh Fire Department.
And happening now in the WRAL Live Center, we have an update from Rocky Mount Police on an investigation involving a juvenile and a deadly crash. This dating back to last month here on the highway US 64. I want you to take a look at some of this video from the scene as investigators were there. The new information we just got in is that the 17-year-old juvenile was charged in connection with the fatal crash that took the life of Quenisha Avent. His charges have been upgraded in this case. His parents also arrested. Of course, we will continue to stay on top of this story and bring you any more information once we learn more.
All right, thank you, Laura. Breaking news out of Louisville, Kentucky, where we've learned that a detective is in the hospital after being dragged by a vehicle belonging to the world's top golfer. Scottie Scheffler was arrested shortly after a deadly traffic accident near the PGA Championship. A pedestrian was struck and killed near the Valhalla Golf Club, forcing police to shut down traffic. Following the accident, pro golfer Scheffler was detained by police for ignoring an officer's orders. Scheffler released a statement just moments before this newscast that reads in part, "There is a big misunderstanding of what I thought I was being asked to do. I never intended to disregard any of the restrictions." He also offered his sympathies to the family of the victim. We're getting a fresh look at the remaining debris from Baltimore's Key Bridge that is still sitting on the vessel. This is video released by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. In the video, you can also see crushed shipping containers and extensive damage. Engineers are still figuring out how to float that ship. Once they do, it will be moved back to the port of Baltimore.
Things got so intense during a House subcommittee meeting involving far-right conservative Marjorie Taylor Greene that even some of her colleagues say she reached a new low. As NBC's Peter Alexander explains, this involved a meeting to discuss holding Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt.
Chaos on Capitol Hill overnight. Order. A hearing about the Justice Department's handling of President Biden's special counsel interview devolving into personal attacks and shouting.
You're not.
Yeah, you're not. You don't have enough intelligence.
Chair recognizes Mr. Perry.
Okay, move to strike the. I move to strike the lady's words.
I move to strike
the lady's words again.
The opening insult coming from far-right Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene, attacking Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No, ain't nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
Order.
Mr. Chairman, that's beneath even the order of your committee.
Order.
Democrat Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez coming to Crockett's defense.
That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you attack the physical appearance of another person?
Are your feelings hurt?
Her words down.
Aww.
Oh, girl, baby girl.
Oh, really?
Don't even play.
Crockett eventually hitting back.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
What now?
The contentious hearing was originally called as part of the GOP's push to hold Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt of Congress after the Justice Department withheld audio recordings of President Biden's interview with Special Counsel Robert Hur. And earlier yesterday, President Biden asserted executive privilege to deny House Republicans the recordings. Garland had recommended that, warning the recordings' release would damage future law enforcement efforts. The special counsel who interviewed the president as part of an investigation into classified documents discovered at Mr. Biden's Delaware home and at an office space found the president did nothing legally wrong, but in his report referred to the president as a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. The White House counsel, in a letter to House Republicans, saying they only want the recordings released to, quote, chop them up, distort them, and use them for partisan political purposes.
That was Peter Alexander reporting. Following the exchange, committee chair James Comer asked Greene if she wanted to strike her words, and she agreed to do so, but added, quote, "I'm not apologizing."
New today, the U.S. Department of Labor is investigating St. Augustine's University. WRAL confirmed this while inquiring about employees who might have filed a federal complaint about going unpaid. The department could not confirm individual complaints, but did confirm the university is being investigated. The North Carolina Department of Labor's Wage and Hour Wage Bureau says there have been 16 complaints filed with the state regarding unpaid wages. Currently, 12 of those cases are open. Closed cases ended with employees being paid. Active shooter training could soon be required at UNC. It's part of a new emergency action plan after the shooting on campus last August. The new plan also includes upgraded security cameras as well as more frequent and clear alerts during an emergency. The changes come after the shooting that killed a faculty member on campus. UNC only released a summary of the plan. Officials say they will not release the entire report for safety reasons.
Today, 2 organizations are partnering to put on a food drive for local Raleigh residents who need this. Thrivent and Raleigh Dream Center are collecting food donations, and there's still time for you to help. This event is going on until 1 o'clock at Raleigh Dream Center on Lewisburg Road. They're collecting non-perishable food items, baby formula, wipes, and diapers too.
Caniacs are left to look forward to next season after a heartbreaking loss to end their season. The New York Rangers scored 4 times in the third period to beat the Canes 5-3 last night. The Rangers special teams played again the difference in this game. They took the lead for good with just over 4 minutes left. A tough end to the night for Canes players who saw their season come to an end.
But yeah, I love these guys. It's been fun grinding with this group, and coming up short right now it hurts a lot knowing there's probably going to be a few changes.
And although it wasn't the ending fans would hope for or what they wanted, they said they're happy the Canes had such a great run and they look forward to next season.
Durham educators are demanding money they say they are owed. We're going to take you to the walk-in demonstration today as they say they want to make schools better for children by
Happening now in the WRAL Live Center, we are following breaking news coming from the Israeli military sharing that they have found the bodies of 3 missing hostages, among those including Shani Luke. If you recall, this is one person who was at that Supernova Festival, one of 200 people there when that October 7th attack occurred. Her body was known and seen in video spreading amongst Hamas. There was hope that she was being held captive but still alive. But this news that just came in, breaking news, her body was found among 2 other people. Israeli military did not share how they found the bodies. Of course, we will continue to stay on top of this and follow the latest developments.
That's some difficult news. Thanks, Laura. Teachers and staff in Durham hold walk-ins at several schools this morning. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is at Pearson Town Elementary, where teachers walked in to work together in solidarity.
Pearson Town Elementary is one of at least 23 schools where the Durham Association of Educators held walk-ins today. They're calling for the Board of Education to recognize them as a union. This is a look now at a walk-in that happened before school started today. Employees say they need what they're calling a seat at the table for salary negotiations. Today's walk-ins are happening after the board proposed a new budget, but the county says they don't have enough money to give to that budget. The county's proposed budget only includes a $13 million increase for DPS. That's about $14 million short of what the district says they need. We spoke with employees after this morning's walk-in.
We realized that by uniting and forming a united front, then we should be able to get the transparency that we all deserve.
We'll be sure to stay on top of all of this and keep you updated. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Durham.
The man convicted of assaulting former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband could get 40 years in prison, and he's getting sentenced today. A jury found David DePape guilty of the October 2022 crime. DePape told investigators he broke into the couple's San Francisco home to kidnap Nancy Pelosi. However, her husband was the only person there. Paul Pelosi endured a skull fracture and serious injuries to his right arm and hands, too. A photo seen here obtained by the New York Times shows an upside-down American flag. This flag was reportedly taken at Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito's residence on January 17, 2021. That was just 3 days before President Joe Biden's inauguration. An inverted flag is a symbol used by some supporters of former President Donald Trump. These are people who challenge the legitimacy of President Joe Biden's 2020 victory. The revelation could prompt calls for Alito to recuse himself from cases involving the 2020 election and subsequent attacks on the U.S. Capitol.
A human arm discovered on a beach in Illinois may be connected to a murder in Wisconsin. The Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office says the arm was found Saturday night. Investigators are now conducting DNA tests to determine if it belonged to 19-year-old Sade Robinson. She disappeared after a first date on April 1st. The following day, Robinson's severed leg was found in a park, and more remains believed to have been hers were found in Milwaukee. Police have charged Maxwell Anderson in her death. And a judge could rule today on whether to dismiss a grand jury indictment against actor Alec Baldwin. Baldwin faces a charge of involuntary manslaughter for the October 2021 death of cinematographer Helena Hutchins. A gun in Baldwin's hands went off during rehearsal, killing Hutchins and injuring director Joel Swaza. Baldwin claims that prosecutors violated grand jury proceedings by destroying evidence during gun testing. Prosecutors argue Baldwin is trying to evade responsibility.
Today marks 70 years since the Brown versus Board of Education decision. The landmark Supreme Court case ended racial segregation and discrimination in schools across the country. But many say racism still infiltrates schools today. Here's Mike Emanuel.
We are not given access to the same amount of resources, to the same quality of education. And if we don't have that, how are we supposed to be successful?
Our schools are segregated because our communities are segregated. Our social circles are segregated.
Student advocates share why they think American schools are still segregated at an event remembering the Brown versus Board of Education decision. 2024 marks 70 years since the U.S. Supreme Court declared separate but equal unconstitutional. But Education Secretary Miguel Cardona admitted racism just looks different in this day and age.
Black students may no longer need to be escorted to school by U.S. Marshals today. We have a system where we have normalized underinvesting in schools that serve a majority black communities.
Really, every day you walk around and you see students who are being heavily affected by problems like this, like myself.
According to Axios, a review of federal data and 2 new reports show racial segregation in schools across the country has increased dramatically over the last 3 decades.
Brown versus Board and its legacy remind us of who we want to be as a nation. A place that upholds values of justice and equity as its highest ideals.
That was Mike Emanuel reporting. The anniversary of Brown versus Board of Education comes after the Supreme Court gutted affirmative action in higher education, and the ruling sparked a conservative-led movement to outlaw diversity, equity, and inclusion programs at public universities and colleges too.
All right, let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Weather, a big topic today, Elizabeth, because we're tracking storms potentially today, tomorrow, and Sunday.
And a lot of plans this weekend. Boy, this time of year it gets very busy. Artsplosion, the Bimbe Cultural Festival, and Got to Be in Sea Festival, just to name a few. All over the viewing area, folks have big plans over the weekend. All right, so here's what's happening right now. Dill Doppler 5000 radar. You can see a few showers up into Virginia and then back down south of Charlotte. There is rain back to our west that's going to be headed our way in a few hours. Tomorrow, we have a WRAL weather alert day because tomorrow looks like the best day for strong thunderstorms. I'll show you all the reasons why we may not see that today or Sunday. But first, we do tomorrow have that level 1 and 2 risk. Afternoon and evening would be our greatest threat times. However, we might start tomorrow morning with some scattered thunderstorms early. Those are not likely to be severe. In the afternoon and evening, damaging wind or an isolated tornado could pop up depending on where a warm front ends up. Right now, we have a level 2 risk for severe storms in our southern counties. That's going to be part of Wayne County, Sampson, Cumberland, part of Hoke County, and then much of the remainder of the viewing area under a level 1 risk where storms would be isolated. Checking out what's happening right now. Here's our warm front. A lot of rain and thunder and lightning along that front. That lifts northward, and it just depends on how far into our viewing area it comes in terms of how much severe weather we may see. We take a look at Futurecast. Couple of light showers, isolated showers or thunderstorms. With all of that energy down south, along that front. It's going to shut off some of the flow of moisture coming out of the Gulf of Mexico, so we don't have a lot of coverage for this afternoon. Notice there at 5 o'clock, a few stray showers and storms in our northern counties, and that may continue on until around 7 or 8 o'clock. But we're not looking at widespread thunderstorms for this afternoon. Just kind of depends on where they end up popping up. The warm front moves northward and stalls over us Saturday. Notice those early morning showers and thunderstorms, and then a bit of a break from, say, early in the morning up until middle of the afternoon. Again, we're looking at this front becoming stationary. Above that front, there's a small chance of some severe storms, but if we're going to see any tornadoes, it's likely to be along or south of that particular front. And so we'll just have to see how far it moves north. Make sure you're checking in pretty regularly with us both tonight and tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon. After that, we're going to see a few isolated showers on Sunday. Now, those could come as early as the morning hours and then taper off mid to late afternoon. I'll tell you, the computer models are kind of all over the place on our timing for rain on Sunday, so another reason you need to keep checking back. This afternoon, a warm one, 82 in Raleigh, 81 in Durham, 85 in Fayetteville, a little on the muggy side. We're sitting right about tolerable, and then we're going to see a little dip in our humidity as we get into early next week. Big Cultural Arts Festival for tomorrow. Durham is in a level 1 risk, and we'll see an increasing chance for thunderstorms as we head through the afternoon. But again, check in with us before you head out. You can always check your weather too on our WRAL app before you head out the door. Saturday 78, Sunday's 70, and then after that, check this out. We have some nice cool mornings in the 50s to start next week. We're looking at the potential for some significant rainfall over the weekend. I'll show you what the totals could look like coming up.
Next week looks nice. Thanks, Elizabeth. Next at noon, the results of a new study are revealing positive economic signs for college graduates with double majors. Plus this story.
Now I can have some of my independence back because I have this technology.
How artificial intelligence is using a familiar sound to help a woman speak again.
We have seen so many graduates walk across the stage in recent days, and many of them clearly are just so proud to even have a degree.
Absolutely. But a new study suggests that all those students might need double majors to secure their future. Chanley Painter breaks down the research.
With college commencement season underway, many graduates are excited about starting the next chapter of their lives.
It feels very good because it was hard.
But while it's normal to have jitters about the future,
it feels surreal. It's very bittersweet.
In the wake of ongoing inflation and corporate layoffs, grads are entering a job market that can look a tad concerning. But according to a new study from The Ohio State University, those with double majors could help shield their future incomes from dropping if the economy tanks.
We find the value of a double major is to protect the earner against downswings in earnings. Earning a double major reduces the impact of a negative earnings shock by about 56%.
The research indicates those with double majors have a greater diversity of skills they can offer companies. This not only can help them find more stable jobs, but could prevent them from earning less money if factors cause wages to fluctuate.
So you could think of a large shock maybe as a large layoff. So maybe a lot of people in a particular major get laid off for some reason due to the economy.
Income protections also increased when students earn double majors in different fields.
When the majors are pretty closely related, we find less of a reduction in that earnings shock. They experience about a 34% protective effect.
That was Chanley Painter reporting. Consumer science experts say those with only one major can still expand their skill sets by completing professional certificates online.
Still ahead, the State Lottery Commission released a new sports wagering activity report. What it reveals about the number of people in our state placing bets.
Also ahead, brain surgery took one woman's voice away, how artificial intelligence gave it back to her.
And just in case you missed them, here are the winning lottery numbers.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
North Carolina bettors lost more than $100 million on sports wagering in April.
And that's according to a report that came out late this morning. WRAL sports investigative reporter Brian Murphy is here with a closer look at these numbers.
Yeah, Chris, North Carolina bettors bet less, but they lost more in April. That's according to new figures from the North Carolina State Lottery Commission. April was the first full month of legalized sports betting in the state. Bettors wagered nearly $649 million in April, down just slightly from March. But the sports betting apps, they made more than $105 million in April. That translates to nearly $19 million in taxes collected by the state. The numbers tell us that promotional or bonus bets are slowing down too. The betting apps, we're talking FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars, they're not offering as generous of bonuses as they were to sign up as they were early on. We can expect the wagering totals to likely fall through the summer months, even with the US Open at Pinehurst and the Summer Olympics in Paris. But come football season, we'll see the numbers rise again and likely see a big push from operators to attract new users.
Yeah, I know we didn't get enough time in to do this before, the Super Bowl. So I'm curious to see what the numbers would have been had that been the case. All right, Brian Murphy, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Chris.
We're expecting a major economic announcement in about 30 minutes ahead of the Got to B and C Festival. It's one of the year's biggest events that celebrates the state's agriculture industry. The festival showcases agriculture and agribusiness with displays and animal exhibits, tractors, and over 75 North Carolina food and beverage vendors. North Carolina Agriculture Commissioner Steve Troxler is expected to make the announcement, rain or shine. So we'll keep you updated on that. And Wake County wants your opinion on the transit investments that you would like to see. The Wake Transit Plan survey is now online. About $700 million is available for transportation projects over the next 10 years. Responses to the survey will help identify community needs and priorities.
Happening now in the WRAL Live Center, we're just getting word from Wake County Public Schools about a threat at Ligon Middle School. This statement coming from the stool, it says, first, know that all students are safe. We wanted to let you know about an incident that took place earlier this morning. It reads, at about 10:55 this morning, a student holding scissors made threatening comments in the hallway during lunch. No one was threatened directly and no one was harmed. A school administrator was able to quickly disarm that student, and our school resource officer and Wake County Public School security were notified. Of course, we have a lot of follow-up questions at this time, as we know parents do as well. We will be sure to ask those questions and give you the latest.
Very important for parents to know that. Thank you, Laura. The North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission is getting tough on drunk boating. The agency's annual On the Road, on the Water, Don't Drink and Drive campaign is underway. It's centered around the two busiest summer holiday weekends, Memorial Day and Labor Day. Officers will conduct sobriety checkpoints and raise awareness about drunk driving and boating, too. And today is the first day on the job for Durham Police Department's newest member, Siren, the therapy dog. The K-9 Responder Academy in Charlotte gave Siren to the department for free through a scholarship. Siren will work in the department's peer support program, helping first responders cope with trauma and assist victims through comfort and emotional support. Siren was chosen for her warm, calm personality.
Artificial intelligence seems to be in everything these days, and now it's helping a Rhode Island woman speak with her own voice again after it was altered from a brain surgery. NBC's Ellison Barber shares this incredible story.
What can I get for you? This sort of thing is probably a blip in your daily life. Most of us wouldn't give the drive-thru a second thought. But for Alexis Bogan, ordering a coffee once seemed impossible.
Hi, can I get a grande iced brown sugar?
Now, for the first time in a long time, she can do these things again thanks to AI.
It was amazing to have, like, a little pen in your back pocket that you can just pull out and have it talk for you.
The 21-year-old, who used to love singing along to country music in the car, was left without a voice after doctors made a terrifying discovery last year. The Associated Press spoke to the specialist who treated her.
We discovered that she had a brain tumor in the back of the brain called the posterior fossa, the size of a golf ball. It was very vascular. She had to go into urgent brain surgery.
The 10-hour operation successfully removed the tumor, but it damaged the part of Alexis's brain that controls eating and voice functions. When she spoke, even Alexis didn't recognize her own voice.
I thought that if I couldn't talk, I couldn't be independent.
So specialists in Providence, Rhode Island, using new artificial intelligence technology, worked to create a digital clone of Bogan's voice.
We were given this early access to this technology called Voice Engine, developed by OpenAI. Taking 15 seconds of audio, it can recreate someone's voice.
They used an audio sample from a clip well before the surgery where she talked about cooking.
You can chop up cucumbers and put this in here.
Now, with just a few keystrokes on her phone, AI brings her voice to life.
It feels amazing to get my voice back.
Wow. That was Ellison Barber reporting. Alexis is one of the first to get her own voice back using AI. But those who specialize in the technology hope that she is not going to be the last one.
I'm not going to lie, that story just hit me in the feels just because, what we do every day, we use our voices, right? This is our tool that we use for our job. And so this is someone, ordering a coffee was something that was such a big task, but no longer has to be. So,
it's incredible.
Beautiful story. Apple could soon be paying some iPhone customers hundreds of dollars.
We'll tell you why and who would qualify for that money when we come back.
Plus, a popular celebration returns to Durham tomorrow for its 54th year. Learn what's new and different this year at the Bembe Cultural Arts Festival. Getting you a live look outside right now at the North Hills. Got a lot of cloud coverage out there. Remember, tomorrow is a WRAL Weather Alert Day. You're watching WRAL News, available on the WRAL app on your TV or your streaming device as well. The European Union is launching an investigation to determine how addictive Meta's social media platforms are for children. The EU will look into Meta's ability to comply with its new Digital Services Act. The law requires social media companies to enact measures that protect kids on their sites. They're supposed to do this by blocking any inappropriate content and keeping their data and privacy safe. If you owned an iPhone 7 and registered a complaint about the phone's audio, you could be eligible for a payout from Apple. People who paid Apple for repairs or a replacement could receive up to $349. Now, those who reported issues to Apple but did not pay for repairs or a replacement could get up to $125. Apple denied the allegations but decided to pay $35 million as a settlement to avoid further legal costs. The deadline to submit a claim for the money is June 3rd.
Google will soon offer schools access to its Gemini AI, which with extra data protection and privacy. The tools will be specifically for teachers and students over the age of 18. Google is promising not to use their data to train its AI models or share it with anyone. It'll include the data protections on Workspace for education accounts at no additional cost. And that product launches next week, offering features such as AI-generated notes and summaries. Well, some chia seeds sold at Walmart could be contaminated with salmonella. The FDA says 32-ounce pouches of great value organic black chia seeds are being recalled across the country. The products impacted by the recall have an expiration date of October 30th, 2026. And if you have them, throw them away and call for a free replacement with proof of purchase.
The Bembe Cultural Arts Festival returns to Durham tomorrow. Find out how this popular celebration is evolving this year while preserving its 54-year-old history.
Also ahead, holiday movies are hugely popular on the Hallmark Channel. This November, fans can travel to Missouri and find out what it's like to be in one of those stories. We'll explain how.
Happening now in the WRAL Live Center, we have an update on a story that we've been talking about all morning, just ahead of the Got to Be Festival beginning. A live look at a press conference that just wrapped up with the Agriculture Commissioner, Steve Troxler, here. This is the big headline of $111.1 billion, showing strong growth from the NC agriculture and agribusiness industry. This is the second year that we are seeing such enormous growth here, and of course a lot of excitement just ahead of that festival, one of the year's biggest events that really celebrates the state's agriculture industry, featuring displays, animal exhibits, and more than 75 food vendors. Of course, we'll have much more on NC Got to Be and all of the great news coming from the agriculture industry here in North Carolina.
Laura, that's not the only event happening this weekend. The 54th annual nationally awarded Bembe Cultural Arts Festival will get underway in Durham this weekend. This event celebrates African and African American history, culture, arts, and traditions, and WRAL is a proud community partner. And joining us to talk about this family-oriented event is the digital content producer, Kaisha Jennings. Thank you so much for joining us here today. So what can people expect for this event?
Festival goers can expect to experience a celebration of African American culture that is centered on joy and community.
And there's going to be some performances as well. Talk a little bit about that.
We are highlighting some of the region's most talented artists and groups. And of course, our headliner is the Grammy Award-winning artist, Monica. When Monica hits the stage at 6 p.m., it is going to be a nostalgic moment for many of the festival goers in attendance.
54 years in a row. How are you feeling knowing that this year is going to be even better than the other years?
Oh, we are so excited. This year, Durham Parks and Recreation is celebrating 100 years of Parks and Recreation in Durham, which is a celebratory moment for all. And we are also excited to honor 2 homegrown heroes. We are honoring DJ Nabs and Crystal Taylor, both Durham natives.
Now, obviously, this weekend sounds like there's a lot that's going on, but people probably want to know what I got to pay to go to this.
Oh, Bembe is free.
Okay. Bembe is free.
Bembe is free. Free 99. It is our love offering to the city. It has been free for the past 54 years, and it is something that we take pride in being able to offer this free experience to the community.
Why is this an experience the community needs, especially here in our area?
Yeah, Bembe is so important to Durham. It has become a core family tradition for many families that they get to experience intergenerationally, and it is an opportunity for them to just experience Black joy.
And, you know, one of the other things, obviously we have these festivals going on here. You just saw Laura talk about the Got to Be NC situation. A lot of artists also going to be at Artsplosure. Talk to me a little bit about the importance of engaging in the art of African and African Americans.
Yeah, it's a celebratory moment. It's an opportunity for us to show what North Carolina has to offer to the entire world. And there's just so much talent here. There's so much talent in our food trucks. We're going to have some of the top Triangle area's food trucks in attendance. We're also going to have 30 plus vendors. So it basically is just telling the world that North Carolina is just all around talented.
And just a reminder, this is tomorrow, and then tell me the times one more time.
Yes, Bembe is tomorrow, Saturday, May 18th from 1 to 7 p.m., rain or shine. So wear your rain boots, bring your ponchos, bring your lawn chairs. It is happening, rain or shine.
And remember, she said it, free 99. Kaisa Jennings, thank you so much for joining us.
And an arts festival happening this weekend as well in the Triangle. Tomorrow and Sunday, the annual Artsplosure Festival is in downtown Raleigh. WRAL is a proud sponsor of this event. It features a giant art market with more than 170 artists from around the country. Admission to that one is free. And let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner, because a lot of people want to go out this weekend. They want to be outside, but we do have the rain chances for tomorrow and Sunday.
And this afternoon as well. So we're taking a look at dual Doppler 5000 radar. We have some showers back in the mountains, and those are gradually going to slide into our area. Couple little tiny cells beginning to pop up. You can see one of those down there in Moore County. So these will continue to pop up. They'll be widely scattered. We're not looking at a lot of coverage from the storms this afternoon, but there'll be some of them. The ones that do pop up will produce some heavy rain and some lightning, are not likely to produce any severe storms. The best chance for severe weather is going to be from, say, the Triangle area southward tomorrow. We're going to be watching a warm front, which is producing some severe, or at least some strong thunderstorms right now, lifting up into our area. If it happens to stall a little closer to the South Carolina line, we will probably not see a whole lot of severe weather. But if it does continue to creep farther north up into our viewing area, we could see a few isolated tornadoes in our southern counties and potentially a few instances of wind damage elsewhere. We take a look at our high-resolution satellite. We had some beautiful blue skies this morning. You can see the clouds moving in across our area now. So we'll be cloudy for the rest of the day today. We may not see a whole lot of sunshine on Saturday or Sunday either. We take a look at Futurecast and push things ahead and start it off here right at lunchtime. You can see some showers that are showing up on Futurecast. Some of that is still a little bit farther to the west right now. But once we get into, say, 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we'll likely have a few of these storms popping up. You can see especially north of the Triangle, and then some of that will continue overnight. So that's 9 p.m. But watch how we see some redevelopment once we get to, say, 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. One more band could move through. So if you're up early, especially from Raleigh northward, you might hear a few rumbles of thunder or see some of that rain. Then we're going to see our front setting up, and again, it will depend on how far north or south it is as to how much severe weather we'll get in our area. If it stalls to the south, it'll be less. The farther north it comes, the more likely it will be. Notice as we get, with this giant low pressure system, but you can see some of those scattered showers and thunderstorms on through the afternoon and evening. Then on Sunday, the models are starting to trend in a little different direction. It looked earlier like we might have afternoon and evening storms on Sunday. Look at this at Sunday morning, and some of our other models are on board with this as well. Some light scattered showers up through lunchtime, and then gradually that rain tapers off. Some of the models are removing the rain completely, but we are again starting to trend in a different direction, maybe having some showers earlier in the day, tapering off mid-afternoon. So keep checking back on Sunday. Cloudy skies in Goldsboro, Apex, Chapel Hill, and there in Fayetteville. Our rain chances, of course, are still on the higher side as we get into the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, about a 60% chance. Saturday, 78, Sunday, 70 degrees. We were talking about Art Sploger. Again, as the Bimbe Festival folks said, take along your raincoat, your umbrella, but do watch out for thunderstorms. If you hear lightning, you do need to find a safe place to be inside. Over the weekend, we could see anywhere from an inch to an inch and a half of rain in some places. I'm not sure that it's going to be terribly widespread. We're still a little on the dry side in the eastern part of the viewing area, but we do have the chance of above normal precipitation all the way through the end of the month. And once we get past the weekend, we're nice and dry. A big warm up ahead toward the end of next week with 88 by Thursday.
That sounds nice. Thanks, Elizabeth. We'll get ready to step into the world of holiday magic, where you can experience the charm of Hallmark Christmas movies after the break.
As we wrap things up, here is a look, a few of the headlines that we're following today.
Yeah, Raleigh's fight against last summer's spike in crime downtown appears to be paying off. Numbers coming out later today are expected to reveal a significant drop in crime. The city hired private armed security guards for the transit center. The Downtown Raleigh Alliance hired unarmed guards to patrol the streets, and police added officers to patrol the downtown business district.
The U.S. Department of Labor is investigating St. Augustine's University. WRAL confirmed this while inquiring about employees who might have filed a federal complaint about going unpaid. Now, the department couldn't confirm individual complaints, but did confirm the university is being investigated. The State Department of Labor's Wage and Hour Bureau says there have been 16 formal complaints regarding unpaid wages.
Caniacs are left to look forward to next season after a heartbreaking loss to end their season last night. The New York Rangers scored 4 times in the third period to beat the Canes 5-3. Carolina has reached the playoffs and won a series for 6 consecutive years. However, the roster is expected to undergo significant changes with 8 unrestricted free agents.
A new documentary with never-before-seen footage from the Blue Angels opens today. It follows them through their grueling training and show performance schedule for a year. This documentary is available at IMAX theaters starting today and will stream on Prime Video starting May 23rd.
No need to just binge watch Hallmark Christmas movies. Why not experience the joy of the holiday in person? Hallmark is launching the first immersive experience at its headquarters in Kansas City, Missouri. Every weekend from November 29th through December 23rd, fans can experience a Hallmark movie town square setting, nightly Christmas tree lighting, and have the chance to meet stars from the Hallmark movies.
One of the most popular plays, Disney's The Lion King, is now at the DPAC. Everything the light touches. This Tony Award-winning Broadway show will run for 4 weeks. The stage production is an adaptation of the animated film, as you know. The Lion King will play Tuesdays through Sundays until June 9th. And for more information about tickets, you can go to dpacnc.com.
And it's time for our pet of the day. Meet Queenie. The SPCA has never had a cat that radiates as much royalty as this lady. She knows what she wants and won't take no for an answer. Queenie has been passed from house to house a lot these past few years. If you are a self-proclaimed cat person who would like to share their home with an opinionated lady, we have the cat for you. Queenie is ready to meet you today. And for more information, please visit spcawake.org/adopt.
Oh, Queenie's cute. Coming up on WRAL News at 4 o'clock, Carolina Hurricanes General Manager Don Waddell says that he expects a contract extension with head coach Rod Brind'Amour to be finalized soon. But will he actually stay? A look at what it could take to keep Brind'Amour in Raleigh and what other options he might be exploring.
I think a lot of people want Rod Brind'Amour to stay.
I think so, too.
All right, NBC News Daily is next on WRAL, your next local news update in 30 minutes.
And just a reminder, you can get breaking news updates anytime with our WRAL News app. We'll see you soon.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.